Hey everyone, Michael here. Jerome Powell just gave us some amazing news today, so we have to talk about it. It has caused the markets to go berserk. Let's take a couple seconds to check this out. Here's the stock market: Dow going up, NASDAQ up, S&P up. Look at the heat map, everybody. Google's up 4, Apple's up 3, Microsoft's up 4, Amazon's up almost 5 here. Tesla's up almost 5 here. We're looking very, very good. Even some of my oil stocks are still performing fairly well, but tech is getting a really nice bounce. Here's what Jerome Powell said. Let's listen to it. Only takes about 55 seconds.
Monetary policy affects the economy and inflation with uncertain lags, and the full effects of our rapid tightening so far are yet to be felt. Thus, it makes sense to moderate the pace of our rate increases as we approach the level of restraint that will be sufficient to bring inflation down. The time for moderating the pace of rate increases may come as soon as the December meeting. Given our progress in tightening policy, the timing of that moderation is far less significant than the questions of how much further we will need to raise rates to control inflation and the length of time it will be necessary to hold policy at a restrictive level. It is likely that restoring price stability will require holding policy at a restrictive level for some time. History cautions strongly against prematurely loosening policy, and I'll close by saying that we will stay the course until the job is done. Thank you.
All right. So basically what he just said there is we're still going to be raising interest rates. We're just not going to be doing 75s anymore. At least that's the kind of hint he's giving out there. We might be going 50, 50, 50, then eventually moving it down to 25 basis points, 25 basis points. Now, 50 is still a lot, but it's not as much as 75. So the market is definitely enjoying that quite a bit, especially some of those tech companies that have international businesses. That strong dollar has been hurting some of those margins, unfortunately. And now that we have some good news, people are less worried about a recession, or they feel like if there is a recession or if there is a market downturn, now it won't be as bad as expected. Now I want to talk about Bitcoin here because this is going to be very, very important. You guys can see that Bitcoin is currently ripping off right now, at least on the weekly chart here. If we go to the 5-minute chart, check this out. We've just had a nice little rocket ship here, and we've had a very volatile day. This is Jerome Powell giving his little speech a few hours ago. It's been dying back down since here. Oh, no, excuse me. This is actually just from this morning. Sorry, I'm looking at a 5-minute chart here. But yeah, ever since this morning, Jerome Powell has just caused the market to pop up. This is from last night when that smaller breakout. The main goal for Bitcoin here, everybody, it's a pretty simple one. Whenever we break down below a massive level of support, which we did here with those June lows, whenever we have that breakdown, that support then turns into resistance. Until we really break back above this 17,622 level on the Bitcoin tethered charts, all of this is really just fluff. We already talked about this earlier today as far as, hey, the main goal over the past week was to break above the 20-day moving average. Now we have this opportunity. At this point in time, we're clearly in a selling zone here, or at least a resistance zone, right? Matching up to what we saw back in mid-November. If we can continue on this trend with some of this good news we've seen from Jerome Powell, then we can go up here and test out 17,622. We need to close above that on the weekly, and preferably by the end of next month, we need to close above it. Otherwise, what you guys are going to see happen here in terms of Bitcoin is us just continue to go sideways, maybe have some volatility, but as January comes in February, we're most likely going to be falling back down, and it'll be a very, very ugly first quarter. Hopefully, we can at least get back up here, find a new bottom, and then go sideways for a little bit. So even if there is bad news, that bad news may just bring us back down here towards 15, 16,000 instead of taking us back down to that next large resistance level, or support level, which is really down here around the $10,000 to $14,000 level. I would say your first big stop is going to be around 14,000, but $14,000 for Bitcoin, people are going to be very afraid of that already. And then if we are forced to go down to 10,000, or let's just say 11,000 for now, that's where you start seeing people really cry and get really emotional, okay? So for now, we need to get back above that 17,622 level. Be patient. I'm being very patient, but don't get too FOMO'd into this current market pop here. We still have to wait and see if we can actually break above and hold the 17,622 level.